morning to Morning Coffee. I'm Keith Reynolds, your host, with my lovely co-host, Charlene Chamberlain. Good morning, Char.
Good morning, Keith. It's Friday the 13th, but
Yes.
that's a good thing.
It's Friday the 13th. It's bitter cold, and but there's good things going about because Valentine's week.
It's been a great week on Morning Coffee.
It has been eventful. We've gotten a lot of feedback on our Facebook and everything. I think everybody loves the show so far.
We had some wonderful guests on this week.
Yeah. So what's going on this week?
Our guest here today is an expert on looking for love, and it's Barbara Freire from New Outlook Singles. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. It's great to have you here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sure you have a question for her.
I've got 1,000 questions, but I'll let you start.
Barbara, you are known as the single scene specialist. Why is that?
Well, I kind of inherited the name along the way of running events and things, people that kind of got acquired.
What kind of singles events do you run?
I run various different things. I started out with 50 ways to meet someone besides the bar scene, which has evolved to 101 ways, because there's many more than ways. It's like 30 pages and 101 ways. And I've had people from 18 to 82 take the class. So it's not age specific, that is for any age.
How did you start on this journey?
Oh, well,
the very beginning.
I was married about 8 years, and I had a short-term marriage, and I was thinking there has to be a better way to meet someone besides the bar scene.
Yeah.
So I was running my church singles group, got active in my singles group, ended up running the singles group, and that was only in my church. I taught aerobics at a place called the Learning Studio, so they knew I did that, and they knew I was involved with church singles group, and asked me if I would teach this 50 ways to meet someone.
Wow.
So 7 pages, 9 students the first class, became 15, 16 years of running events with 3,000 plus singles, 20 on marriages, and lots of relationships and friendships.
What about the I got to ask this. What about the online dating? I mean, is it really working out there?
Well, it's funny you said that, Keith, because I've evolved. I started in 1999 with my New Outlook Singles, and at that time, online dating really wasn't that strong. Now, a lot, I would say 90% of the singles out there do online dating, which is good, because it's, you can sit in your PJs, do what you want when you want, connect with people when you want, and I have a couple of experiences with that as well. The difference of that versus my events is mine are in person.
Right.
I like that.
On camera, online, you have no idea what's the real truth of what someone's
we just
writing.
Talked about that
they
yesterday.
post a picture and it's 12 years later and 30 pounds earlier.
Right.
So
and their profiles sometimes aren't accurate or true.
And some are married. I mean, there's all kind of things that go on online. But in person is the chemistry. On paper, you might be the man of my dreams. But when I get in front of, well, I shouldn't put my partner of 11 years up. But, sorry, Gordy. Anyway, on paper, you might sound like he's the man. But you're in front of me and there's just no pizzazz. Or there is pizzazz. I don't want to say you're having pizzazz.
You know what? I think people are, society is too scared to really kind of put themselves out there and let things naturally happen.
Right.
I mean, look, I've been married 17 years.
Wow.
And, I say wow too. And 6 kids later, and I'm like, to me,
double wow.
To me, if you ask me, I would just, it doesn't matter about, beauty's right in here.
Amen.
It really, really is for you folks out there, to me. So online dating is that. Same thing with Facebook. I think too many people hide behind it.
They have a Facebook
and
life.
And they got
Totally.
you know how they say beard muscles? Well, a lot of people have Facebook muscles. Because
absolutely.
They're chirping out there to people.
Right.
And it's just like, really? So I was always just taken back, especially because of also with the online dating, women in general, they really have to watch themselves.
Oh.
There's crazies out there.
Absolutely.
There's that commercial
where
the guy says, I think 2 guys bump in and she goes, oh, I'm waiting for my date. Or the guy bumps into the girl and she's waiting for her blind date.
Right.
And he comes up and he's all like geeky looking. And
right.
he says he speaks French.
Oh my God, I love that.
I laugh at that, but I'm like, you're putting yourself in harm's way.
Right.
And,
totally.
I don't know. I remember dating, and I don't know if online was big then.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
We didn't even have computers back then.
We didn't have MySpace at that time.
Right.
So I just, whenever I ask about online dating, I got to get people's opinion on it because I just don't know if it's the best thing
Right.
out
Well,
there
it
for
does work. I have several friends that have gotten married and met
Me
people
too.
online.
Yeah, me too.
As well as I have oodles of people that have met someone at my events in person.
Right.
I like
and
in person.
years ago, before I officially started even running the church singles group, I connected people, friends, my sister, my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm Italian, but I said if I was Jewish, I would be Yenta, the
That's
matchmaker.
right.
So I would match people just naturally. And then it started being where people were asking me to do it, and I connect singles. People say I'm not a relationship expert by any stretch. That's still a challenge.
But you must have an innate sense and talent for reading people.
Well,
And
Yes,
figuring out,
yes.
like, oh, you know what, I like that girl's personality, and I just met Joe last week.
Right.
I think that would be a good connection.
Well, Charlene, it's
Yeah.
funny you said that because it is specific people.
Mhm.
Or what happened is I started teaching the 101 Ways to Meet Someone, and then the Learning Studio went out of business.
Right, and you carried on anyway.
And this is so funny. What happened, that was the first thing I did. I taught the classes, and then I started in October. And by April, I thought, wow, the guy in April's class is great for the girl in October's class, but they're
See?
never going to meet. So I started running mingles where I would have, I would make snacks and have wine, and
Right.
and everyone would be just chatting in the room. But people being who they are, some are outgoing and they talk to everyone, and some would stand against the wall.
Wallflowers.
So then I thought they need a little help here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I spun off Expedite, which
Oh,
is
I remember Expedite.
Yeah,
Are you still doing that?
I do.
Okay.
What happens? Not as much as I used to. Expedite. I said it expedites the dating process. So the people would, instead of just coming to a mingle and being on their own to find out what they do.
Like it's like a networking event.
Exactly.
in
It's
a way.
almost like a forced way to
Yes.
meet up to 16 people in a night.
Mhm.
And one time I had so many people, instead of meeting 7 minutes, we met 3 minutes and met 20 something in a night.
Yes.
Well, instead of meeting, like you said, Keith, online, and every Wednesday you meet someone in a coffee house, and it takes you a month and a half, 2 months to get through that whatever.
Yes.
They would meet 16 people like that.
At once.
You're not going to
Yeah.
know if you're going to marry the person, but you'll know if you're interested enough to
if
know
there's a
them
click or
further.
not. Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I have evolved, and then from that, the challenge about that is you have to have even men and women, which could always
Yes.
be a challenge.
Yeah.
So then and age specific. So
Mhm.
then I spun off Meet Your Match, where there was something where there was an icebreaker, people in a room, and a thing to make, and it's actually Valentine's. It's Valentine cards cut in half,
Right.
all crazy ways, and you go around to meet
And
your
find
match.
the match.
You find out who's my match. Now, who you match with on paper
Is not-
might not be your
Yeah.
love romance,
Right,
but
right.
it was an icebreaker. So that got people moving around and doing things. And then,
So
That's
you're
a
like
great
you're
idea.
like the female Hitch. You ever see that movie?
did I see it? I watched it
One of my
last.
favorite
I must have watched it 25 times. In
Yeah.
fact, one of the things I did was run movie nights for singles, and that was one of the shows that we had.
Because really you help people, because that's the biggest thing. I think you help people get out of their own way. You know what I
Totally.
mean?
She makes them feel comfortable
yeah.
Right.
enough to actually speak to someone that they
Right.
might be attracted
Right.
to.
Right.
And
you know,
it's just like the old, you talk about the
Yeah.
wallflowers that people are going to
Oh.
say, well, the old school dance mentality.
Right.
We grow up and you think you could, grow out of it because you're a kid, but you're still the same way.
absolutely.
You know.
And I do that, Keith. In the 101 Ways class, I teach how to get in and out of conversations, what to say to strangers, topical things to help. So I kind of coach people on how to get out of their own way.
Well, I have a question. Say you are on a blind date from, an online match or something, and as soon as you walk in and sit down, you realize this is not it. Is it best to be honest and upfront, or go through with it and
You have a
Well-
friend
Ride
call
it
you-
out
you have
for
a
an
friend
hour.
call you
Oh,
10
he
minutes in.
You know?
he must have
Blended.
eavesdropped in my class, because that's
Blended.
one of the things I do. How to get in and out of conversations. How many times are you at a networking or an event and you're stuck? That
with
idea
one
is
person and you want to circulate?
right.
Yeah.
I have a theory. If you meet, and I used to say this in my 2-hour sessions, if you meet 3 people for 10 minutes, you would meet 3 people. If you meet 10 people for 3 minutes, you meet 10. So you double your odds the more people you need to meet.
Right.
And at that moment, how do you know that the person across the room there, but you're stuck talking to a person here,
Right, could
is
be
not
it.
for you?
Or could be it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you need to give yourself the opportunity to get around as much as you want. But you
I
want to
see
be
that.
polite. I always
Yeah,
say,
of
no matter
course.
what, you want to be polite. You don't
But-
want to insult someone,
No,
but you don't want to
no.
waste someone's time.
No,
No.
or your own either.
You're
Yeah,
wasting each other's
sure.
time if you're.
You know, you're there
Denied
for
it.
a reason. And I used to, when I owned my networking company, you know, I would go out and, you know, if there's 100 people in a room, I would try to meet 80 of them. Because
Right.
you know what? You want to meet. That's what you're there for.
Exactly.
And I think that what happens is the normal person comes in and they get into that high school mentality. They see their clique that they hang out
And they
with.
go
You-
right to
They
it.
go right to
It's
it.
comfortable.
It's
It's comfortable.
You never go out of it. We were going to make some commercials to show how it works, you know, and how you break into that little clique. But it's
Right.
the same way, you know. They snub you and stuff like that.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. And like what Charlene was saying, how do you get out of if it's not for you or not? You know, I have a theory about that too. In fact, my boyfriend had this happen. His brother was dating someone and it didn't
Working.
work. And she said, you know, you're not for me, but my sister is. Well, they're married 30 years
Exactly.
later.
Yeah.
So it's not who you meet, it's you, and you know the Verizon
You never
commercial?
know.
It's you and your network of
Yes.
people. And
You
we
never
all
know.
have a team of people.
Mhm.
And
You do.
if I make a good impression on you or someone does, you're going to introduce me to everyone. If I don't, you're going to be like, forget her.
Right.
So
Right.
the idea is expand your horizons, network with whomever. You never know what the opportunity can
And you
be.
never know who knows who.
Exactly.
That's right.
In good and bad ways.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
and-
Well, hopefully only in good
Good
ways.
and-
Your skeletons can pop up later.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for a commercial break. We'll be right back with Barbara Freire and Dave from Auburn Road Vineyards.
My name is Karonda Jones. I'm the owner of Kitty Academy of Mount Laurel, New Jersey. The 4 pillars of life essentials are developmentally appropriate curriculum, technology, health and fitness, and character education.
They give great attention to each child, and my kids are happy at the end of the day. Academically, exposing them to the state curriculum early, he's getting the exposure with the alphabet and the numbers and reading and writing, so I'm really confident in him going to the next level.
This year they did little pictures with the kids, and they made like popsicle sticks and made their own frames, and you know, it had a little picture. They were holding a picture that said, "I love you, Daddy," and literally that morning I melted. Everybody's friends here. Yeah, it's not like he comes home every day crying about the bully. It's like everyone's buddies.
The worst part about Kitty Academy is trying to get my kids to come home. At the end of the day, they have so much fun.
Kick off your new year at the Croc Center, helping families achieve their full potential with fitness facilities, indoor competition and play pools, performing arts theater, educational programs, and fun for all ages, including seniors and teens on our 24-acre campus in the Kramer Hill section of Camden. Book now for birthday parties and corporate events. Monthly memberships start at $25 for a household of 4. The Ray and Joan Kroc Core Community Center in Camden, where potential meets opportunity.
We're back. This is Charlene Chamberlain and Keith Reynolds for Morning Coffee, and Dave from Auburn Wine Vineyards is joining us as well. We'll be speaking with him a little bit later and maybe doing some wine tasting. And we're back with Barbara. She has a CD out called Ready, Set, Date, How to Encouragement and Tips on How to Meet Singles. Let's talk about this.
So
a
that
little
was
bit.
from that, and you said that segued into the 101.
Yes, the 101 Ways class is specific to the location. So it's like 30 pages of events that are, I'll mention a specific facility or venue or event where I was asked to teach events for singles online. So I had people all over the country, all over the world. So I couldn't have what's going on in Mount Laurel and what's going on in Burlington.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I made Ready, Set, Date be a generic course offering inspiration and
Let's hold it up
information.
again.
Yeah, Ready, Set, Date is a place where anyone, anywhere can hear inspiration and information on how to meet singles, like how to get in and out of conversations and that kind of thing.
Okay, very interesting. I think I'm gonna listen to that.
You're married.
You're married with 6 kids, you said. Oh my.
I still always got to stay sharp.
That's true, in case we have Barbara on again.
Yeah.
And then I thought, instead of, I started writing a book, and I thought, wait a minute, people aren't going to sit down and read a book as
Not
much
anymore.
as they'll pop it in the car and listen to it
Yeah.
and remind themselves. So that's
Absolutely.
what inspired me to author a CD instead of a book.
Do you have any interesting love connection stories?
Well, and actually, one of the people in my very first class I mentioned in the 1999, she became friends with me, and about 5 years later, being the person to greet everyone, my friends always wanted to help me at events because they'd be in front of people. They had a good position there. And she said, Barbara, don't use me anymore. I'm not your good poster child. It's 5 years and I'm still single. Well, at the wine room event, which ties Dave kind of in, the wine room, I had a singles event there. And this guy who worked at a hotel said, who's that redhead across the room? And I said, well, funny you said that because I already mentioned him to her.
Wow.
Here they are, married with 2 children right now.
Great.
They're one of my success stories.
That's
so she
a
went from
ending.
a not good success story to a good poster child for me.
Right. And approximately how many connections do you think you've made that you know about?
Well, about 21 that I know of. And I say that because sometimes I find out from someone else that someone got married. And other times I'm invited to oodles of weddings and then baby showers.
Nice.
And you know, Charlene, not only the marriages, but lots of good relationships and friendships have come of this. I've had girls meet a friend there that they're friends for life. And a good partner, a buddy to go out with is just as important as a partner. As we know, especially with Valentine's Day coming up.
Yes. I mean, there is a stigma with Valentine's Day. Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not like
Maybe it's a woman thing.
No, you know what? I just find that you know what? If it takes one day to show someone you love them,
Yeah.
I'm not
what
like
does
honestly.
that
I
mean?
mean,
What does
look,
that say?
I'm not trying to bash Valentine's week because
You're
we
right.
just did it,
You're right.
but I'm just not that guy. You know what? You should be telling that person you love them every day because you never know what could happen.
Absolutely.
So, you know, Valentine's Day should be every day. Now, not roses or whatever, but
Well, why not?
God. But you know what? Just hug them and tell them you love them. Give them a kiss goodbye. You know, and never say goodbye. My mother always told me, say, see you later.
See you
And
later.
when my kids say goodbye, I say, I'll see you later.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm a freak about that. That's really, it's important to do that.
True.
So, you know, I just believe that you really tell them every day. Every day.
Right.
And you're right, Keith. And you know what? I said this to singles. What I'm saying is there are a lot of people who are single, so they don't have a Valentine, and they dread Valentine's Day just like they dread New Year's Eve. That's the worst 2 days when you're single.
Yeah.
Except for, I say, it's not only a relationship that shows love. There's a lot of other people in our lives that love us.
You're absolutely right.
And
Yeah.
I'd rather have flowers for no reason than flowers because someone goofed up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or flowers,
Obligated.
obligatory flowers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what?
Oh, it's flowers. Here it is. You know.
You're absolutely right. I mean, we get, you know, Valentine's cards from our kids and stuff
Right.
like that. It's
Yeah.
because it's love.
Right.
You know what? If you don't have that special person, you have friends.
Well, you
They're
know
special
what?
to
If you
Go
don't
out and
have that
spend it with
special,
them.
if you don't have that special person, why don't you go out there and be that special person?
Oh, that's a very
You
good
know?
thing too. Mhm.
Yeah.
Send
And
some cards.
Right, and it doesn't have to be, you know, if you have nothing
Right,
to do
Dave?
tonight, help someone out tonight. Go help a senior. I
Right,
mean, there's other
exactly.
ways to show love to people besides
Yeah.
just romantic, you know.
You're
That's
absolutely
right.
right.
Bring them a bottle of Dave's wine. And
That's right.
The winery facilitates lots of love connections.
Oh,
Sure
absolutely.
does.
You're
Funny
very
story.
right. Once we introduce alcohol over here, it
Yeah.
lightens up the people. They get a little looser to come up
The
to
atmosphere is
strangers.
important.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Barbie,
Healthy.
do you have any events coming up for
I
Valentine's
do.
Day?
It's funny you said, not really just Valentine's Day, but next Saturday, the February 21st, the Saturday after Valentine's Day, I'm co-sponsoring a lock and key event.
Those are fun.
Yeah, it's similar to my Meet
Lock
Your
and
Match,
key.
where
Yes.
the men have a key and the women have a lock, and they go around, similar to the Meet
You
the
have to try
Match,
them.
meeting people. And again, it's up to the person to decide how many people are they going to go to.
So they what? They go to the man goes to the woman and open up.
Tries the key.
If it works.
Doesn't work,
Right, and
they move on.
if he doesn't, he's not for you. It doesn't work and move on. If there's interested, you can linger as long as you want. You control how long you hang out with that person and what you want to do with it.
Now, there's that old saying that, you know, opposites attract.
Mm-hmm.
Does it really work in your world? Like, is it really? Do you see the percentages?
Varies. It really varies.
So it doesn't really.
It really varies. You know, it's like I can't put a template on what works. It's like connections and chemistry and all that kind of
You
thing.
know, I see
Timing.
opposites attract for only a little bit. I think when you tend to get older, and the opposites, they become almost annoyances to me.
I think you have
Yeah.
to have a lot that your core values and beliefs have to pretty much be on the same playing field.
Absolutely,
Right.
I agree.
And it's okay
I
to
think
have
I-
opposite interests. I think that
Sure.
sparks, you know, that keeps the flames going a little bit. You know, you
Yeah.
can't like to do.
Are those magic fingers? Sean?
Yes, it's a magic. They're my piano fingers. Sorry, you can't like everything.
Right, and you
You
can't
know,
be
you
Bopsy
can't.
All
twins
the
either. You
time.
can't
Yeah.
be
You know,
twins, you know, but
But there has to be some commonality. In the
Absolutely,
relationship.
I do that
Yeah,
because people always say, "I love or opposites attract." Yeah, they do, but for a little bit.
Right. You're
My
absolutely
opinion.
right.
and timing is a lot of everything too. Just
And-
like anything else in life, right?
Timing is
That timing
everything.
word.
I can't believe you just said that. Timing is everything.
Right.
Yes.
It's what makes the world go round to me.
And you know, you can't really control that either. It's what
No.
the universe
It's
wants.
destiny
It's
or
what
whatever.
the universe wants.
Right.
That's right.
Satan's destiny.